nobody here yet, which is good because I only just got my shit together. What are we doing? What are we doing? Turn that up. Turn it up. Okay. Does this help? Does this help? No, 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 no. Hello, hello. Oy, way too much. Okay. Still no viewers. Still no viewers. Still no viewers. Still no viewers. Okay. 2 viewers. Hey. Benny. Welcome aboard, mate. Let me just put the message in the chat. Welcome, Wafflers. Welcome, Benny. Thanks for joining me, mate. Oh, there was a bit of echo there. Not sure if you guys heard that. Yeah, I'm just going to waffle on for a minute, given the name of the channel. That's probably fair. Bruno, how are you, mate? How's everybody doing? Were you at Simply Techno, Bruno? I didn't see you there, but I left about 9, so that's not necessarily a thing. Yeah, nice. Did you have fun? Oh, yes. Nice. Yeah, it was looking very, very good when I left. But my bed was calling. And after 3 gigs in 8 days the week before, I needed to get some rest. Just turn that down. Does that help? Hey, that helps. It wasn't actually a launch per se, mate. It was just a new venue. So that's I think that's the 4th or 5th one. Hey Jamie, how are you, mate? Two in one day, mate. Very, very impressive, especially given the distances and the time difference between us and Germany. Hey Jamie, whereabouts in Germany are you, mate? I know that I've mailed you stuff, but I didn't pay attention. It just prints out of a machine. And hey Christy, how are you? Still telling me I've only got 2 viewers, but I got 4 people in chat. That's odd. Yeah, that the venue was cool though. I thought for Simply Techno, um, that warehouse vibe. Susie did really well. I was super happy for her. I spoke to her today. Her and Jules are off to Bali. They were at they were at the airport when I spoke to Susie, so they may well be on their plane to Bali for Locus, for the drum and bass shenanigans that are Locus, which is a nice one for them. Yeah, so we got 5 viewers. That's probably enough to start. I'll start with some waffle. I'm going to start with sports, which may bore some of you, but hopefully no one's bored by the Socceroos win yesterday because that was amazing. So just if you aren't as clued in with football, and by football I mean what a lot of people in this country call soccer, but I was raised by a man from Liverpool in England, not Liverpool in New South Wales. So it's always been football to me. So we were basically, and by we I mean Australia, were written off for this World Cup. The Turks thought that they had our number and they were going to flog us. So yeah, which is always a recipe for disaster if you are a sporting team to think that you've got the upper hand. Kind of happened with you're in the North Rhine-Westphalia in a town called Paderborn, and I probably mispronounced all of those, mate, but apologies if that's the case. The North Rhine. So How warm does it get in summer up there? Anyway, what was I talking about? Soccer, football. Um, yeah, so we were written off. There were a bunch of people saying we wouldn't win a game. That the best we could ever hope for was a nil or draw with somebody, and then to go out and beat the Turks, which was a one of the quote unquote dark horse teams. Let me just bring this camera down a bit so you guys can see me better. That didn't work at all. Oh, that's shit. Let's just see if I can do something a bit better with it. There we go. That's better. It gets very hot. Cool. Hey, Kerry. Yeah, so we were written off by all the commentators, all the pundits. Said Australia's not going to win a game. The best we could hope for is nil or draws. Um, and yeah, we go out and pump a Turkish team that told everyone they were going to flog us. Um, and yeah, beat them 2-0. They were never in it. They had 30 shots, but like our goalkeeper was just unbelievable. Patrick Beach. It was awesome to see Nestori Irakunda score the first goal, who's an Adelaide boy in every sense of the word. So, for those that don't know Nestori's backstory, he was born to Burundi parents who fled Burundi due to civil war, and he was born in a. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I think he was born in Burundi, but he was like a newborn when they fled to Tanzania to a refugee camp. Moved to Adelaide when he was 3 months old, and is just like I know a couple of people that actually know him, and I don't. I'll be upfront. I don't know him from. I just know that he's a cracking football player and just, but is apparently just a fucking lovely kid as well. So just amazing to see him. Um, yeah, just succeeding on the world stage. He currently plays for Watford in the Championship in England. He was at Bayern Munich, I believe he was at, but couldn't get on the field, so moved to Watford, which is in a lower kind of level of football, but in the UK. But if he keeps this up, he will be in the Premier League very, very, very soon, or one of the bigger, getting either back in the Bundesliga, getting time. I'm not sure if he's at Watford on loan or whether he was sold, but yeah, he does some wild backflips. Did the Timmy Kale celebration, um, which was awesome to see. Kid knows his history. Yeah, just wild to see. And then Metcalf's absolute worldie from outside the box, just to put it out of reach of the Turkish. Absolutely cracking goal. Patrick Beach in goal was nuts. Our whole defense was awesome. Um, Boss down the left hand side was amazing. The assist for Ocon was just perfect. To see his dad, who's an assistant coach for the Socceroos, crying on the sidelines as well. Just, I don't know, man. It touches. As I get older, I cry easier. I don't know if that's a common thing, but yeah, I had a tear in my eye when I saw him and uh, Tony Popovich hugging on the sideline after the full time whistle. It just really, really warmed my heart. Um, yeah, it just, yeah, it is common. Thanks, Brendan. Thanks for letting me know I'm not unusual in that fact. Yeah, I think it's actually more a case that as we, well, I'll speak for myself. I've become better at recognizing my emotions uh, and not hiding them. Because when I was a kid, I didn't want to be embarrassed by them, which is silly, but yeah, yeah. Jigsaw EP. I still have a copy of that, Peter, somewhere in amongst the piles of records at the studio. So yeah, uh, so that was a great way to finish the weekend for me because my San Antonio Spurs just absolutely capitulated again in the NBA Finals. Another big lead, another loss to New York. Just showing our youth time and time again, not just on the court, but the coaching staff as well. So that was kind of heartbreaking for me on the Saturday. So it was nice to close the weekend out with a win for a team that I love. So yeah, um, that's what's happening in sports. Uh, Now, shows. So we already talked briefly about um, the Simply Techno show on Saturday night, but I just want to publicly congratulate Susie on an amazing event. I was there for just over an hour at the start of the night before my bed called me. Um, so anytime it's a pure techno show, I'm happy about it for obvious reasons because it's my first choice of music. And then to see, you know, so I've known Jules, which for those that don't know, that's DJ Patch, and that is Susie, who is DJ S4T's husband. I've known Jules since he was 15, I think. Um, and that's a long time. I think that was 1994 or 5 I met Jules when he was still in high school. Um, and so I've known him for a very long time. I got a massive amount of love for both of those guys. So I'm stoked to see how well her show went. I know how much work she put into that. Like converting a warehouse into a venue is never easy, and I know that she had some late stresses that she didn't need, but she overcame all of that and just absolutely crushed it. Um, if there's anyone watching right now who can, I know Brendan was there, but anybody else who was there, just chuck what your thoughts were in the chat. But yeah, I just want to publicly say to Susie, well done. I spoke to her earlier today and said it in person, but yeah, I just, yeah, like I said, I got a lot of love for that couple, and I'm stoked to see her doing so well. Yeah, just really, really makes me happy. Um, so upcoming shows for us, us being Dance Floor Heretics. So we have the secret invite only NFL party, which is on the 27th of June. If you are watching this and you don't have an invite, send me a DM on the social media of your choice and I will flick you a private link to secure yourself a ticket if you want to come. This is super, super tight knit, this party. There's only 70 tickets. It's in a secret location. It's not in a club or a pub or a warehouse. If we had a warehouse, we would want way more than 70 people there. It is something completely unique that has never been done in Adelaide, as far as I know, or Australia, as far as I know. I can be very confident it's something like this has never been done in Adelaide because I would have heard about it. Um, yeah, so um, I'm gonna I'm gonna ask you what you mean by functional in the toilets there, Brendan. Yeah, um, yeah. So it's going to be completely unique. Like a lot of the stuff that, without wanting to blow my own horn, that I do in my businesses, it will probably be replicated by somebody else. I'll never do another show like this though. So I really encourage everybody who wants to get along. It's going to be, so right now we've got it booked for 7 until it's inside a cement mixer. No. But there will probably be people the following day who feel like it was, Benny. So, yeah, uh, completely unique. 7 p.m. until we close, um, which will be midnight at the very earliest. Uh, we have a really strong DJ lineup. So We have some experienced campaigners, a couple of newer guys. It will be awesome. It'll be a party that people talk about. For I think it'll be one of those parties, kind of like the Smile Party we did in '95, where people talk about it for years, right? Um, it there'll be nothing run of the mill about this. It'll be like for a more recent example, it'll be like Underground Sessions 1, in terms of unique space, unique crowd, intimate, cracking music, great DJs, really strong lineup, but truly an underground event. The Underground Sessions parties, while still fairly underground, aren't way down underground like this will be. So yeah, if you do want to come, flick me a DM. Obviously, I won't be able to look at it until after I've done this, but I will send you an invite tonight. There are less than 40 tickets left though. So if you are on this stream and you are and ahhing about it, grab your tickets before it is too late. I cannot expand the number anymore. 70 is like I measured it out this morning. Yeah, I'll be live streaming it, Jamie, for sure, and recording it. But yeah, I measured the space out today, and 70 will be packed. So, like, don't think that we're going to do the old sneaky promoter thing and sell out and then release more tickets at a higher price due to popular demand. I just can't do it. There's no room. I don't have the space to do it and do what I want. So it'll be 70. It's truly capped at 70. For those who are wondering what NFL stands for, it does not stand for National Football League, which is one of my favorite sports. Back to sports. It stands for no free list. So there's literally the only free tickets are if you are working at it, you get a +1. So the DJs get a +1, the door girl will get a +1, and that's it. No free list. So that's the vibe of the show. Yeah. So I hope everybody who's watching right now can, there's 12 of you. I hope to see all 12 of you, well, except for Brendan, who can't make it, and Jamie, who has an amazingly good excuse, given that he lives on the other side of the world. No fucking life. Yeah, no, that's what I would have called a party like 3 years ago No fucking life is what we should have called a party when we were in the depths of COVID. We could have done like the NFL live stream. Yeah, so hope to see you all there, with the exception of Brendan. Well, I would love to see Brendan there, but I know you can't make it, mate. And I would love to see Jamie there, but it's a hell of a commute for a 5-hour party. So, yeah. And then we have on the 25th of July, our Christmas in July event, which is totally free. So but you do have to register to get a ticket. I'm still in the process of getting that set up. I'm trying to do it so we're trying to set up a site that just collects emails and sends tickets with no cost. There's right now, the ticketing system that I use charges me $1.50 for every ticket. And if I'm giving tickets away, and we do, we've got both rooms of Cosmos running. So if we do 400 tickets, that's $600. And if I'm not selling any tickets, that's out of the question. So yeah, we're trying to get that set up right now, but it is obviously still 6 weeks away, so plenty of time for that. Yeah. Yeah, I've been to Europe, Jamie. It is a fucking long way. The jet lag is brutal. Yeah, so Christmas in July, we have 2 rooms running. We have if they're familiar with Cosmos, which most of you will be, there's a side room there that We're at Underground Sessions 5, you know, where the stage was. There's like a little door off to the right there if you're looking at the stage. That leads to a second room. That will be running house, which is being run by the Phase 1 guys, which is Bobby Mackay. And he has Brent, Lick and Touch, and Matty B joining him in that room for house music all night long. And then in the main room, we have techno. And that is DJ Corey, SF, Devious, myself, H, and Lissy. It's 8 p.m. until 2 a.m. If you haven't pre-registered for your ticket and you just show up, there will be a charge at the door. So once we have the link for that, make sure you get onto it. And yeah, just save yourself some money and come along. It's our thanks to you guys for all your support over the past 18 months or so. So yeah, just so you know that we just don't want it to be all one-way traffic. So we definitely appreciate you guys. So we'll probably continue to do this. I don't know that it'll line up on the 25th of July quite this well next year, but we'll continue to do it as long as people want to keep coming. And then in terms of shows, finally, the weekend of September 10, 11, 12, I will probably be playing in Melbourne one of those nights. I will be over there, funnily enough, for the NFL, not the no free list, but for the National Football League game between the 49ers of San Francisco and the Rams of Los Angeles. So I'm headed over for that. Matt and Dave Pham said that they will find something for me. So I hope that's correct. I don't know at this stage, Benny. I don't know where I'm playing just yet. At this stage, it's all still in its infancy, but I should be playing. As soon as I have the details, I will be going super public with it, because I would love if some people wanted to come from Adelaide to watch me play. But I'm hoping to see a bunch of people from Melbourne that I haven't seen for ages as well. Because every time I've been in Melbourne, the last, 15 years, it was for work. So there was no partying as such. So yeah. So that's what's coming up for me. I don't think there's anything else. Still Smiling will not be on this year. There's just way too many other reunions on. This is not me throwing shade at people. It's just we just had another Cargo reunion. We just about to have 2 Planet reunions and a HQ reunion. It's just there's way too much of that going on. So we didn't want to be stepping on anybody's toes, and we didn't want to risk losing money on a show, because the Still Smiling events are by far the most expensive events that we put on every year. They have a 5-figure budget. So yeah, it's a lot of risk for Paul and I. So yeah. So we're going to skip it for this year. Hopefully things quieten down in 2027 and we can do it again next year. But we'll let you know as soon as we know. What else? I have a video for us to watch. People seem to enjoy that when I did it last time. So give me 1 sec to get that lined up. And let's put that on. Let's shrink me down so that I'm over here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so this one is about a track that I would assume everybody in this stream has heard before. It is on Superstition Records, and it is called Schoenberg by Marmion.
Hey there, welcome to a brand new episode of Music Express. My name is Twan, and in this week's vlog you will see my interview with Mike van Dijk about the Marmion classic Schoenberg. But before we start with the vlog, Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and very important, also make sure to click the bell button, because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online.
Could you guys hear that? You've got sound. Okay, cool. Let me figure out why I don't, but I'll keep
And if you enjoy my interviews and you want to support Music Express, you can do that via one of the links in the video description. Every donation is very much appreciated. Alright, here it is, the story behind Schöneberg by Marmion, my interview with Mike van Dijk. Enjoy! Mike van Dijk is a German DJ and producer and also pioneering figure of Berlin's early techno scene. He is also one half of the duo Marmion alongside Marcos Lopez. In 1993 they released the Berlin EP on the legendary Superstition label. One of the tracks on the EP is Schöneberg, which became a defining anthem of the post-war Berlin rave era. The track grew into an international cult classic and remains one of the most influential German electronic releases of the 1990s. For this week's vlog I sat down with Mike van Dijk for an in-depth interview about Schöneberg and more. My first question to Mike was how old he was when he started to listen to music.
That's a very good question. I had a record player, like a small Philips record player already back in probably at my 8th or 9th birthday, but I would listening to fairy tale records and other listening records. And a friend of mine had a record, parents of a friend of mine had a record shop, so he would listen to all the cool music already, and I would visit him sometimes. And so this is when I got the first impressions of rock music mostly, but also Roxy music, David Bowie, more experimental music, not just the usual pop music from the radio.
Sorry, so I'm going to okay. That sounds nice. Very hard for me. So, are you classically trained?
No.
Enjoy it with you when I can't hear what
they're saying. So, when did you start with producing music?
Also, good question, because when is actually production start? I used to be a bass player in the early 80s, and when I moved to Berlin I got hold of a Fostex 250 4-track tape multi-recorder, where you would record 4 tracks on a music cassette, and that's where I did my first 4-track music demos, like recording a drum machine and playing a bass to it, maybe even singing to it, mainly in order to show to my band colleagues how I want the song to sound like.
Yeah.
But that was in 86 or so. In 87 or 88 I got my first music computer, which was a Yamaha CX5M, along with a TR-505 drum machine.
Turn that off and turn that. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I will work on that for next time. I don't know why it wouldn't work. Yeah, I know you can hear me. I can hear me through the headphones too, but I cannot hear the audio from the screen. But I can see that it's coming through. It's very, very odd. So yeah, apologies for that. Yeah. And yeah, technology, hey? The perils of being over 50. Okay, so let me just turn that off. Yeah, cool. So what else did I have to talk about? I thought I would also chat about, just for if there's any aspiring or up and coming DJs who are watching, just the importance of knowing your role. This bloody thing keeps playing. Go away. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, me too, Christy. Like it's, I will by the next Waffle BOF, which I may well do tomorrow night, once I've got this working, I will do it again, Lydia, 100%. So you just have to tune in next time. Sorry. Yeah. So one of the things that I see, one of the, I guess, mistakes I see a lot of young up and coming DJs making is not knowing what your job is. And for the majority of up and coming DJs, unless you are very, very lucky, your role is probably either the beginning of the night or the end of the night. And I know this because that's what I used to do. So I used to DJ at Heaven last, and I used to DJ at Synagogue first, which were wildly different gigs. So I would play Thursday nights at Heaven. I would play the last set where it was my job basically to scare everybody out, to play like hardcore, and get everybody to leave so that they could close. And my job at Synagogue was to warm the crowd up with 2 hours of garage. Yeah, so a lot of DJs these days want to play hits. They want to play harder or faster. They this is probably more club specific than festival / rave specific. But yes, so if you are an aspiring DJ, my recommendation to you is to talk to the promoter who has hired you and ask them what their expectations of your set will be. I have had some promoters get super granular when I've asked this, down to even the tracks they want me to play, which that kind of grinds my gears because I've literally never told a DJ what songs to play in the 30 plus years of promoting that I've been doing. And if I hire you to DJ, it's because I have faith in your ability to select tracks. But if you come to me for advice, I will certainly give you the vibe that I'm looking for. So if you are playing first at a club or a club night, like an underground sessions is a prime example, your job is to warm up the crowd. And that means that you are playing probably a little bit slower and a lot less well-known music than what will be played at the peak of the evening. It's a great chance for you to get experience playing on larger systems. Excuse me. It's a great chance for you to get experience playing with the distractions that come with playing publicly. It is super easy comparatively to DJ in your bedroom / studio than it is in a public setting where people are asking you questions, people are offering you drinks, people are doing dumb shit, and all that stuff just distracts you. So it's great experience for you, but you shouldn't be rinsing hits in the first set. And none of the guys that we have at our shows do. This is just stuff I see happening at other shows or in the great wide world of the internet. So yeah, so Thane loves playing the opening. The great thing about the opening is that if you keep these things in mind, you can't really fuck it up. Like you can play, like the Synagogue was a great place for me to play brand new house music that no one had heard before, and some of that stuff might have been hits a few weeks later, and then I couldn't play it. But well, see, Benny, you say live PA means no hits or known tracks. That's if it's not a big live PA. But like, if the live PA you put on is Cosmic Baby or Detroit Rom or one of those guys, yeah, local kids live PA. There just aren't many of those around anymore, man. Not in Adelaide, anyway. I know that there's still guys in Melbourne doing it. There's only one guy I know in Adelaide that's still doing it, and that's I forget his DJ name, but he's Albie Mangles on Facebook, and Albie, but he plays hard house, so it doesn't really fit with what we do. But yeah, it's yeah. So know your role, play accordingly, work your way up, do your apprenticeship essentially. Most of us had to. The only people I think that don't have to do that are people who, through production, have made a mark before they've made a mark as a DJ, or it's your show, right? If it's your show that you put your money up to promote and you want to give yourself prime time, nobody should be arguing with that. That is 100% fine. Like, that's, if you're willing to put the time, the effort, and the risk to do a show, and you want to play whatever peak time is to you, whether it be, it's usually sometime between 11 and 2, then that's fine, man. You've put the effort in. But if it's somebody else's show and you're booked to play first, don't come in and just rinse it, because you'll find that you won't have many future gigs, I would assume. Yeah, unless there's something that that I don't. Yeah. So that's my advice to up and coming DJs. Just know your role. And if you're playing last, then it's probably your role to either, like I said, scare people out or wind the night down, depending on what time it is. It's yeah. So these days in Adelaide, you don't really find many places that are open past 2. Atlantis is an exception; they're open till 4. But there is still a lockout at 2. So yeah, there's not a lot of the wind it down whilst the sun comes up kind of sets in Adelaide anymore. There may be in other parts of the world, and all power to you. They were great. I played a few of them back in the 90s. I remember playing at Rise once, and leaving and starting work at 11 and going straight from the club at Central Station. So yeah. If I actually played I played a sunrise set last year at a show for Jono at, I forget what it was called, but it was at Port Gawler, and I was supposed to be playing back to back with Devious, from 6 till 7:30. Devious got sick, so he couldn't make it. So I got up at 4, drove down there, got to Port Gawler at 5, and then as the sun came up, so did the mosquitoes, and I got absolutely destroyed by mosquitoes for like 90 minutes while I was DJing. But the sun came up, and that was the set I wanted, so all good. What else do we have? Chuck your questions in. I did see a question about Paul at St. Paul's from somebody. I don't recall who it was. Yeah, look, Paul, there we go. It was Ron. How are you, Ron? Did Paul ever make a cent on his St. Paul shows? He did. He definitely made some money. But he definitely would have had some that lost money too, mate. That's just the way it goes with promotions. Hey, Chris. I assume you're still in Queensland, mate. I hope you're doing well. Hope fatherhood is everything you wanted it to be. Dennis, so Hodder did make money on some shows, did lose on other shows. But it's, to me, it really doesn't bother me if I don't make money. It's losing money that irks me, just because I don't have it, to be fair. So talking about dollars, where is the biggest cost for events? It all depends on the event you're putting on. So let's go through a rundown of this year for me. Big shows. So let's go the last 12 months then. So Still Smiling, biggest cost by a country mile was production. So we had to put a very, very good PA in there. We had to put our own staging in there. We had to put our own lights in there. We had to pay for security, which I kind of include in production. So, hey, Sarah. I think from memory, the cost of production came to like $9,000. So that's before we paid a DJ, before we pay a door girl, before we pay for any promotions, before we pay for anything. So, yeah. Then you skip forward to, say, Thomas Schumacher, CJ Boland, Tales of Techno in March, and we do that in Tia Live, and they have a sound system, and they have lights, and they have all of that. Then your highest cost is your internationals. So they were, I don't want to say how much because I don't want to speak out of school, but they were more than the production combined. They were more than the production was at Still Smiling, just for those two DJs. So you look at their kind of, usually those two will be your biggest costs, production or your internationals. The biggest cost at the last underground sessions was the two guys from Melbourne, followed by putting the PA in. So this is why I said earlier, if you want to put your own shows on and play peak time, all power to you. You're taking the risk. Yeah. What's the other chat room? Dennis, the other chat room is on Twitch, mate. It's the Waffle BOF channel though, not the Dance Floor Heretics. So they're usually your two biggest costs. Honestly, looking back, I really can't remember any time where it wasn't one of those two things. I mean, we could have skimped on the PA for Still Smiling, but it was important to us that it really pumped. Particularly given that we could, because it faced over the ocean for those who weren't there. It was a room at West Beach, and the PA literally pointed out to sea, so we could really dial it up. And if the kooky thing about sound systems, which unless you've been around a really good one, a lot of people don't know, is that if you have a really good one, you can make it really loud without people noticing that it's really loud because it's so clean, the sound. I remember setting up a party with Andy when he had just bought his first Martin system, which was a fucking sick system. And we were in St. Paul's. We're back to St. Paul's again. And he was doing the first sound check at like 80-90% of what it was going to be. And we were at the back of the room, and I went to say something to him, and I couldn't hear myself talking to him because the sound was so loud that I couldn't talk over the top of it, but it was so clean that it didn't sound like it was loud. And that's, so that's why you pay extra for a sound system. So I saw somebody mention Function One systems. I played on a Function One system 2 weeks ago at Nightshade. It doesn't hurt, but you can't hear yourself speak. That is a perfect way to. So a Function One system, for those that don't know, is kind of it's kind of equal top in terms of club PAs right now. I'm not sure they do anything for, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they do like outdoor stuff. So it's all like in-house stuff, but it's fucking expensive gear. Like, so the system I played on, I estimate, and this, keep in mind, Nightshade holds 100 people, right? So it's not a big system. It's literally 2 subs, 2 tops, 1 thing for foldback. That's it. That's the whole Function One system. My guess is that's about 60 grand worth of equipment, just those speakers. So that's, I don't know what it would cost to hire because I don't know anybody that's hiring that stuff out. But yeah, it's, so for context, Kerry, the PA we had at Underground Sessions 5, which was not, so it's kind of middle of the road PA. That's still 35, 40 grand worth of equipment, just the speakers. And that's just the front of house. So we had 4 subs that were all, those subs are worth, I'm talking retail here, not what Andy pays for it, but so those subs are like $4,500 each, and we had 4 of them. So what are you looking at there? It's like 17.5 just in subs. The tops are 4 grand each, so there's another 8, 25, and then the foldback wedges are 2.5 each, so there's another 5. So you can do the math on that. So what's that? 20, yeah, about 30 grand worth of PA. And that's kind of middle of the road. So yeah. Yeah, you should upgrade the insurance on your ute, Thane, with all the courier work you're doing for me at the moment. Yeah, so it's expensive. Somebody asked me the other day, like, why don't you just buy your own PA? It's like, yeah, because that's the sort of money you're looking at to buy a decent PA. I could buy. So I've got 2 RCF 15-inch and horn speakers of my own. They're the 2.5. They were what we used for foldback at Underground Sessions 5. They're worth 2.5 each. I could buy 1 sub, but 1 sub to go with that is like to get the matching sub is 5.5 to 6,000 retail. So yeah, it's a lot of money, man. I'd rather buy 2 CDJ 3000s for that money, to be honest. Something that I would use every day. The sub would get rolled out every now and then. Hearing a GoFundMe, yeah, well, start a BOF GoFundMe to buy a Function One system. We could do the old, the conservative grift and just say that we're going to buy BPA and then just spend on like whatever we want, like the Trump model. Yeah. Speaking of which, is anybody like, I don't know, I put up a post either this morning or yesterday about One Nation supporters having conniptions over an immigrant scoring the first goal for the Socceroos. And yeah, I had a bunch of people DM me with a keep politics out of sport, which I always find hilarious coming from conservative types, because it's only keep politics out of sports when they don't agree with the politics. Yeah, it's funny that they were messaging me to keep politics out of sport the day the UFC was being held on the White House lawn. Not one of them picked that up. Not one of them was like, yeah, we got to keep politics out of sports, so don't post memes. And yeah, I'm really upset with Dana White. Yeah, like that's like it's hilarious to me. And the other thing is, like, when all these sporting people came out and called out Albo for some dumb shit that he did a little while ago, which is totally fine. I have no issue with that, like, whatsoever. Not one of those people like, yeah, keep your fucking politics out of sport, bro. You're just a swimmer. It's hilarious to me. These people are, and then so one of them, like, because I reply to all of them, and like, so one of them, I wrote a reply saying, like, he said something along the lines of, kicking a ball around on a patch of grass should never be political. And I said words to the effect of, hey, you know what? If it's you and me kicking the ball around, that's fine. I can get with that. But when they're representing Australia, and when there's a huge debate in this country around immigration currently, and everyone on that team is either an immigrant or the child of an immigrant, I think that it's relevant. And his reply was, they're not all immigrants. I went to school with a couple of them and they're born in Australia. And I said, so reading comprehension isn't your strong point, because I said immigrants or the children of immigrants. And unless you're a completely purebred Aboriginal person, and they are very, very, very rare in 2026, that there's never been any mixing of race at all in their entire history, then you are the child of an immigrant at some stage, whether it's the grandchild or the great-grandchild or the great-great-grandchild. My mum's family's been in South Australia since the 1800s, and I am still the child of an immigrant on my mother's side, and definitely on my father's side because he's from Liverpool. But yeah, we're all children of immigration, so it's laughable to me that Gout, fucking what a fucking legend that kid is, and he's going to put Australian sprinting on the world map. There can be no doubt this kid is going places, provided he stays healthy, obviously, and I'd super hope he does. It's like we're all the children of immigration, so like this whole pulling the ladder up behind you bullshit just doesn't wash with me, and they just don't see the hypocrisy of it. The fucking Murdoch news press today, who've been telling us for the last fucking how long to, like, immigration's a big problem in this country, we got to curb immigration. They've all got an African kid on the cover of the paper today. Sky News are all about the Socceroos. It's like, this hypocrisy blows my mind. Gout's a good Ipswich boy. Yeah. Something tells me he's definitely a child of immigration, mate. Yeah. Yeah. So even Jamie in Germany is a child of immigration. There you have it. But yeah, like to suggest that immigrants are the problem is, when you're an immigrant, essentially, in one way, shape, or another, it blows my mind. Yeah, and then I said to him, like he said, typical lefty shit or something like that, and I said, well, like these conservatives are all like, I like Pauline because she tells it how it is, and I'm sick of everyone being so sensitive, and you can't say anything anymore. And then as soon as I called him out for lack of reading comprehension, he's like, hey, no need to fucking insult me, man. It's like, you guys can't make up your minds either. And then he's like, my free speech, I can say what I want. I'm like, I didn't say you couldn't say it. You just come to my, like, if you're not going to read the replies to the questions you ask, don't come to my page and be a dickhead. She can't be PM Kerry. This is the stupid thing. So this is all over everybody's socials today, right? The opinion poll says 33% of people want Pauline as PM. That means 33% of people in Australia don't understand how politics works in Australia. So that's I put on a comment on a video, like, that's a stunning indictment on our education system. People assumed I was saying that people who support Pauline are dumb. And I wasn't. I was saying people who think a senator can be a prime minister in this country don't know enough about our political system to have an opinion on it. If you are that low educated on how our system works that you think that Pauline can be prime minister, you don't really have to listen to their opinion anymore, because they don't understand how the system works. And then I had somebody else say, well, things can change. It's like, brother, the two major parties are not going to hold a referendum to make themselves obsolete, right? If that's what you think. If you think Pauline's the viable option, right, why would Albanese hold a referendum to put himself out of a job, right? Why would Angus Taylor support that to put himself out of a job? The fact is, the Labor Party have the overwhelming majority in the lower house in federal parliament. It's up to them whether we have a referendum until the next election. And so that is not going to happen. So, yeah. Yeah, and Pauline doesn't want to be Prime Minister. Like, I can tell you categorically that Pauline Hanson does not want to be Prime Minister. Pauline Hanson wants to sit on the side, collect her $350,000 a year to show up to work 12% of the time, and whinge. She doesn't want any responsibility. She doesn't want any level of having to be capable at anything. She just wants to sit there and tell everybody what's wrong without presenting any solutions. They will never gain power, Glenn. I swear, like they might in Victoria. They might in Victoria, only because both parties in Victoria are a fucking shit show, right? Like the Labor Party and the Liberal Party in Victoria are fucking diabolically bad. That's the only way that. So, like, even like to the level, I have some major issues with Albo's been in his second term. I didn't mind him in his first term. The second term, he's been shit. I'll be first to say it. He's been shit. He's still the best option, right? So anyone who's saying get Albo out, just ask him who should we put in after him. Yeah, Victoria's in real strife financially, socially. They're poorly run. They're corrupt on both sides. Like this isn't a Labor's corrupt or Liberals corrupt or yeah. Vote one BOF. Yeah, the Dance Floor Heretics Party. We're legalizing drugs and we're removing all lockout laws. It's mandatory to rave every Saturday. Yeah. You guys are in real strife, I think. But I've said this before as well. I think what happened in South Australia is a better indicator of what One Nation's aspirations should be. They'll take 50% of the LMP's vote, and that'll be the max they get. That's their ceiling, not their floor. They think that it's the floor for them in South Australia. It's their ceiling. Like so the Liberal Party clearly always had some far right people in it, and some more moderate people. The more moderate people are still voting for the Liberal Party, or they're voting Teal in other states. But in South Australia, they voted Liberal. If they're more moderate Conservatives, and if they're more far right Conservatives, they voted for One Nation. They took no seats from Labor, none. So Labor has nothing to worry about in South Australia. But then Malinowskis hasn't been great this term either. I don't know what it is with these guys. They get a mandate and they have the ability to make some formative change like a Labor leader would have done in my childhood. So not even that long ago. If you can imagine if Bob Hawke had been given this mandate, there would have been sweeping changes to things like community housing, sweeping changes to tax. AUKUS would have just been bailed on. But yeah, it's wild to me that they went the other direction. Yeah, Malinowskis has been poor this term. Yeah, I don't know what they teach in school anymore, Kerry, to be fair. Not having kids. It's been a long time since I was at school. 1992 was the last time I went to high school. So, yeah, I mean, compared to Victoria, Malinowskis is like Don Dunstan. But that's a fucking low bar to clear, Benny. You know what I mean? Like that's like saying compared to Trump, Nixon wasn't that corrupt, right? So it's like if that's the bar you're setting, you really need to reassess where the bar's set. Yeah, it's not great. The world's in real problems at the moment. Fucking Elon's a trillionaire. Like kids are still starving. We got trillionaires. Like people are living on the streets. We got trillionaires. Like what the fuck is going on in the world? It's not a subject. So we had, what did we have? We had something at school that was politics when I was at school. I did it in year 10. And it basically taught us about how the Westminster system worked and stuff. I think it was only a half year. It wasn't social studies. Elon might have worked hard for 26 plus years, but that does, so do fucking cobalt miners in Africa to make the batteries for his cars. Like it's not about how hard you work. It's nobody should be a billionaire in my opinion. Like no one needs to be a trillionaire. It's a stupid amount of money. Nobody needs to be a billionaire. My theory is that you get to $999 million, it's 100% tax rate. If you've got unrealized gains, you have to sell something. You can have $999 million. That is generational wealth. Your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids' kids and your kids' 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 kids should never, ever struggle with that level of money. Like, there is no reason anyone... Like, remember when Musk said if the UN could show him how to solve world hunger, he'd solve it. And so they did, and he ghosted them. Like Warren Buffett, I believe a lot goes to charity. His kids get a small amount, right? And I'm using these inverted commas very sarcastically. Like they're probably getting tens of millions of dollars, but they're certainly not getting billions. And you know what? Elon Musk kids probably aren't even getting that because none of them talk to him. They fucking hate him. And this is the other thing is all these people are like, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. No, he's not. You got to reassess what you think rich is. If your kids don't like you, you ain't rich. If your kids won't answer your phone calls, you ain't rich. Nobody loves him. He's a miserable prick. That's why he needs that money, because he's trying to fill the hole in his fucking soul with money. And it will never work because his dad's a fuckwit and probably never hugged him right. He's got some weird relationship with his mum where he pretends to be her own ex. It's just, he's a fucking weird dude. And there's nothing wrong with being weird. No problem with him being a weirdo. None whatsoever. But there's no need for us to have trillionaires or billionaires. And if we put that tax in and they decide they don't want to work anymore, that's fine too. You know? Like Musk is not adding a ton of value to the world right now. He's got SpaceX, which is supported almost entirely by government grants. He's siphoned all the money out of NASA so that he could have it. He really has never invented anything. Yeah, I completely agree, Jamie. It's not how much like how much money you have; it's how you use it. Like, where's the Elon Musk? What's bullshit, Maya? Expand on that. What's he invented? Name one thing that Elon Musk has invented. Because he didn't start Tesla. He's not an engineer in a rocket thing. So all the rockets at SpaceX. PayPal. He didn't invent PayPal. You need to do some research. He didn't invent PayPal. His company that he started with his brother got bought at the same time as PayPal by another company, and they melded it all together. That's what happened with PayPal. He did not start PayPal. So he's never invented anything. He's a Nepo baby. And now he's got $1 trillion. And like I said, and we've still got kids that can't get lunch. We still got people that don't call the ambulance in that country because they can't afford it, no matter how bad it is. It's shit's back to front. So, yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying people can't be rich. People seem to misunderstand this. You can be fucking $999 million is so much money. Like, I'm saying people can have that. Then it goes to 100% tax rate. Yeah, he is. He's literally the villain in Lethal Weapon 2. He's a Bond villain. He's like Hank Scorpio from The Simpsons, except not as funny. Yeah, it's yeah, you could be super duper super rich, but no billionaires. Yeah, well, clearly, Hank Scorpio was way cooler because he was ginger. So yeah, people don't understand how much money $1 billion is. You're absolutely right, and a trillion is like 1,000 times more than that. So think about that. Yeah. So yeah, I have no problem with people being rich. I have no problem with people being comfortable. I have no problem with like any of that. Just no billionaires. And I mean that for all billionaires. So I'm not just attacking Musk and Trump. Like Taylor Swift, she's worth I think $2 billion. She should have to give 1 point something $1 billion away or goes into tax immediately. Paul McCartney's a billionaire. He should have to as well. Rihanna, she's a billionaire. She should have to as well. Michael Jordan, a basketball hero of mine, is a billionaire. He should have to give the balance away as well. So yeah, it's not a I don't like Elon, therefore I don't like billionaires. It's all billionaires should have to be down to yep, Kim Kardashian, if she's a billionaire, she should have to as well. Yeah, even the ones I like. Paul McCartney, good Scouse lad, made his money making music, never really hurt anybody. Yeah, whatever the balance of $1 billion is, 100% tax rate on that. Yeah, yeah, you can't spend that money. You just like you are just hoarding it because you have a hole in your soul. Like that's literally the only reason you need that amount of money is because you need it to try and fill a gap in your heart. Yeah, Yoko Ono, if she's a billionaire, she can give the money back as well. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my position on all of that. And some are going to call me some lefty lunatic socialist Marxist cuck or something. Oprah, she can give it back too. Like you will not find an example of a billionaire that I'm not going to go, yep, whatever the balance from $999 million up to wherever you are, no matter what it is, if it's 1.1, there you go. I knew someone would call me that. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for not making a liar out of me. Yeah, there's not a single billionaire. Like, no matter how much I like their business model, there's not a single one that I think deserves $1 billion. Not one. So it's not just me against the super, super, ultra stupid rich. It's which they all are stupid rich, but like I'm talking about the $100 billion people, the Bezos, the Zuckerbergs, it's not just them, it's all of them. All of them should all be giving whatever the balance is, and every year, whatever your net worth is, that the balance comes down to $999 million and the rest goes to the government. And you'll find that they'll start being a lot more philanthropic. They will. They'll start building universities. They'll start building hospitals. They'll start doing things like that because they don't want to give the government their money. They'd rather spend it themselves. So they'll start doing cool shit with it. So yeah, you're not a real billionaire until you try to explore the Titanic. I did see that online today. Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's my 2 cents on billionaires. They're all they're and there are no self-made billionaires. Like even like everybody needed somebody to get. There's no self-made millionaires really. Like there's you all need somebody to help you get along to that. Like there's nobody. The Gina Reinhardt University sounds like an oxymoron. Yeah, it'll be like what's that PragerU in the US, the far right university. Yeah. Um, Let me check my Instagram, Dennis. Which one did you send it to, mate? Me? Dennis for Heretics. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It is a big club and I ain't in it. But this isn't a me being jealous. The thing is, they could if they took all that tax off them, right? And people are like, you just want them to spend it on you, or you just want some of it. You're wrong. I'm quite happy with my life. They could ship all that money to third world countries to make them better, and I'd be happy. I'd be stoked. I would be so happy that they'd start raising African children out of poverty, kids in Southeast Asia out of poverty. I would be stoked if every last penny went to that. So it's not about me looking after me. I just don't think that I think we're all in this together as a race, as a species, and they don't. That's the difference. And I would rather lift every human being on the planet up to a level where they don't have to worry where their next meal is coming from or where they're going to sleep tonight as a bare minimum. And if they get sick, somebody looks after them. And I don't think that's some wild fucking theory that is absurd. And I don't think that it's outside the realms of possibility. The world is very plentiful. We just have a bunch of cunts hoarding. That's the problem. There's like less than 1% of us are sociopaths. I saw something the other day on YouTube. So take it with a grain of salt whether it's true or not, because it was on YouTube and it was a YouTube short, which makes them even less reliable. But they were saying that they've got to the point where they think they can eliminate the gene that causes Down syndrome, right? So that like they can identify it now if you check your pregnancy early enough, I think. But I'm not saying you have to live a Western lifestyle, I'm saying you have food for you and your family. You have a place to stay where you are safe, and that if you get sick or injured, you get looked after. Those three things happen for all 8 point whatever billion of us before anyone's a billionaire. That's it. Like those three things. So if those three things aren't happening for every single person on the planet, because every single person on the planet wants that, okay, they still have the option of those homes. If they trash the homes they're given, then so be it. It's their home. They can trash it. Well, yeah, we are overpopulated too. That's a problem. But that's another problem. That, but at least those people have a choice. Then but they should be able to eat. Well, no, you just don't fix them, bro. Like that's the thing. It's your house. If you trash it, it's trashed. Like that's it. But you should still be able to eat, and you should still have healthcare. Yeah. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Anyway, this YouTube short was saying that they've identified the gene or whatever it is that causes Down syndrome, and they think within a generation they'll have eliminated it, so nobody will ever have Down syndrome again. Stop doing that and identify what gene makes you want to be a billionaire and eliminate that. Eliminate the greedy gene. Eliminate the gene that means you lack empathy. That's the gene we got to get rid of. Isolate that, wipe that out in a generation. And then the whole planet will be in a way better place. In my humble opinion, but you tuned into my channel, so that's the opinion you get. Sorry. Stop the gene that makes you, yeah. We are a selfish and destructive species, Glenn. I totally agree. And pretty much all of us on some level are, but the damage every single person in this chat or who will ever watch this video does in the entirety of their life will not compare to the damage that one of these billionaires does in 12 months. Not a chance. So I don't know if you guys know this stat, but just the money that Musk gutted from USAID, it's estimated to kill 600,000 people. There's just, he did that so that he could, like, I don't even know what the point of that was, that Doge thing. Like they cut all this spending on these social programs in the name of reducing the national debt over there, and it's still out of control. It's still climbing faster than it was before Doge. Like it's like he's killed 600,000 people. Like if you or I did that, we would be considered a monster. Like, like, yeah. I mean, maybe there were, but USAID wasn't one of them. Like, it's USAID was is a government organization, not an NGO. So, but yeah. Anyway, like it's just he gutted NASA so that SpaceX would get more contracts. He gutted regulatory things for electric cars. It's anyway. I'll talk about something else because it's depressing me. Like Mai said, it's a big club and we ain't in it, and we never will be. But it might be time to bring out the guillotines, because we're not going to vote our way out of this. Like that's, if we go back to Albanese, that has been proven categorically by Albanese's diabolically bad second term, is that once these guys get a mandate, they're not going to do the right thing. They're going to be for sale to the highest bidder. It just allows them to demand more, to say, hey, I will be the prime minister for at least 2 more terms, and that is probably what's going to happen because their lead was so overwhelming after the last one, and there is really no viable opposition despite the noise that everybody's making about One Nation. No serious political party in Australia has their leader in the upper house. You can take that to the bank, and that includes all of them. So if they are serious about leading this country, their leader is in the lower house, and that's a fact. So you are not going to vote your way out of this, guys. So this is what I say to you. You either come to terms with the fact that the life you live is superior to the life of pretty much all of your ancestors in terms of comfort, because most of us watching this are in a first world, well, all of us I would assume, with the exception of maybe Jamie, everybody's in Australia, and Germany's obviously first world country. We're all in first world country. None of us are worried about where our next meal comes from. We've all got a roof over our head. We all have a place to sleep at night. We all have healthcare. So everybody on this stream has it better than the vast majority of the world. So we either have to say, hey, Australia ain't that bad, or Germany in your case, Jamie, or we have to start hitting the streets and being, what do they call it? Like malicious disobedience or something. Yeah. It's that's just like, they're the 2 choices we have, really. It's that's where it's come to, because like I said, you're not basically in Australia. I don't know what it's like in Germany, Jamie, but in Australia we don't have a major left wing party. The gold standard. I mean, I don't know who. I know Benny knows this, but the greatest scam ever pulled on the Australian people was by John Howard and Peter Costello, when they sold our gold reserves to their friends for pennies on the dollar, and then convinced us that they were good economic managers by using that money to pay off debt. It was an absolute scam. and now it's led to us to where we are. It's a ridiculous situation to be in. Our currency was completely backed by gold before those two idiots. Yeah, Benny's on the same page. Yeah, it was just absolutely a disgraceful piece of, well, it was betrayal, really. They were our elected officials. They were there to protect us as a country, all of us, and they sold us out. So, yeah, Costello would just dig up more, and then gave all the mining rights to his mates as well. Yeah, yeah. This is a thing that also makes me laugh, Dennis, is this Margaret Thatcher quote that fucking conservatives love to roll out with the whole, well, the problem with socialism is eventually you run out of other people's money. It's like, cunt, we are billions of dollars in debt to other people. Don't tell me capitalism doesn't have the same fucking problem. Right? At least under socialism, we're looking after our people. Yeah, all Western countries are in big debts. Like all of them. I mean, I'm pretty sure all countries, really. Yeah, it's yeah, it's a wild situation. So yeah, like I said, we either decide to say, well, I've got it better than all my ancestors, dude. I'm not fucking slaving in a field in some fiefdom. Yeah. Or we hit the streets. And I'm not really advocating for one or the other. I mean, globally and historically speaking, I have it super good. I've got an amazing life. So my concern is for others, not for myself. Yeah, Ayn Rand, yeah. Like, Ayn Rand and Mother Teresa are the two biggest female hypocrites that ever walked the earth. Yeah. They're just unbelievably bad people. Yeah, the tinfoil hats don't work, Dennis. They know what you're thinking. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about something good. Climate change is a bigger issue than money right now? Yeah, probably. But, so we're back to Musk. Musk positioned himself in the 2000s as the climate change warrior, right? Like, my electric cars will solve climate change. Just buy a Tesla. Like, and then now he fires rockets into the fucking space, burning more fucking fossil fuels than everybody in this chat again will use. In like 5 minutes, he burns more fossil fuels than all of us burn in years. Yeah, it's net zero is totally possible, Dennis. It's just you just got to do more. Net zero is you could achieve net zero in 6 months if you just planted enough trees. Like, that's the thing. You just got to spend the money capturing the carbon. So, like, net zero is totally and utterly net zero with coal-fired power stations is possible if you plant enough. That's the secret, or you find some other way to capture carbon. If you find another way to capture carbon, like some way of sucking it out of the air, like, it's also possible there. But it's totally possible. Yeah, like we have enough sun-drenched space out in the middle of nowhere that nobody uses. It's just nobody wants to spend the money to do it. That's the thing. Like, you could capture the sun and store it in batteries and ship it around Australia. You just got to spend the money on the infrastructure, but nobody wants to spend the money. They'd rather spend the money subsidizing gas. Yeah. Yeah. There's a massive El Nino happening in the Northern Hemisphere at the moment, and it's probably going to hit us next summer. So yeah, Glenn's probably on the money with our river systems will be in strife in approximately 6 months' time. Jamie's in North Rhine, which is northern Germany, I'm assuming, and it's super hot there. Like in Australia, we're accustomed to the heat, but Pakistan's currently got 50-degree temperatures every day. I saw a news report on. It's 50 degrees every single day in parts of Pakistan. Yeah, 50, 50, not 15, 50. Yeah. Yeah. So no, ski seasons are a thing of the past, my brother. Unless you're going to have to get a lot further fucking above sea level than Australia can offer. Yeah. It's, yeah. And like I said, like Jeff Bezos's rocket the other day blew up. How much carbon do you reckon that released into the atmosphere? Just that one mistake. And it was also that he can fuck around in space with Katy Perry. Yeah, like if you guys, there's a book by Ben Elton. I'm trying to remember which one it is, but I think it's Stark. And this book is from maybe the late 80s, at most the early 90s. And let me look it up. Let's see if that's the one, because he wrote a bunch of environmental books. But it basically is about a global conspiracy to crash the economy. To crash the environment. Yeah, it's let me just. I think this is the one. It was his first novel, 1989. There you go. I was spot on with the date. Theme. Yeah, that's the one. So if you're interested, see you, Glenn. It's it is a great read. It's funny. It's like it's satire the whole way. But it's basically it's about this cabal of billionaires essentially that build places for themselves to go, and I think sell places. Like it's been like 30 years since I read it, so you'll have to forgive me. The name is Stark, Stark, like Tony. But yeah, they deliberately crash the environment, and everybody's so fucking like we all are, that it just happens so slowly in terms of how the human brain perceives time. And by slowly, I mean over the course of like a decade, right? Uh, it it happens so slowly that people just get accustomed to hearing this bad news every day. Yeah, so it's fictional like 1984. Precisely, Dennis, precisely. Yeah, like boiling a frog. So yeah, like, and then by the time people start waking up to how bad it's getting, it's too late. Like it's like the tipping point has been crossed, and it's like there's no way to, like, you can slow it down maybe, but you cannot stop it. And I feel like much like Idiocracy, when like literally we had fucking guys on motorbikes doing backflips on the White House lawn this weekend. Like Idiocracy came true, guys. Like, and now, yeah, overpopulation is 100% an issue contributing to climate change, and nobody wants to put like nobody's got the balls that the Chinese government had, with the one child policy. Yeah, but I mean, birth rates are down because everybody's so miserable. Yeah, flood the zone is absolutely correct. But I mean, flood the zone with Steve Bannon, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding of flood the zone is part of flood the zone as well is misinformation as well. So you put so much shit out there that contradicts the truth that people don't know what's true and what's not, and so they just stop paying attention. Yeah, but yeah, that I mean, yeah, you should totally have to pass a test to have a kid, in my opinion. Like 100%. And look, most of you would pass it, I'm sure. So it's like it's the but yeah, birth rate is not at replacement. That's why we need immigration, essentially, in this country, because like most of you are my age, thereabouts, so late 40s, early 50s. Who's going to be looking after us in 20 years' time? It's probably going to be somebody from overseas. I mean, I live near Flinders Medical Centre, and most of the staff that I see walking in and out of there don't have the same colour skin as me, and that's fine by me. I don't mind. Tesla robots, yeah, make whatever comes after 1 trillion, make Trump Musk the first one of them. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like if Australians, proper Australians, and I don't, and I'm definitely putting inverted commas around that, aren't replacing at the rate, and I'm more guilty of it than most. Taylor and I have no kids, and we'll never have kids. Young people aren't having babies. Yeah, but the planet, Dennis, doesn't need more people. So we've got to look at this as a global problem. And globally, the planet is overpopulated. Australia is very rare in that it's not overpopulated. And it's one of the only countries in the world that is true. Most countries are overpopulated. Most countries have more people than they can fit. So as a like we cannot look at this as, well, there's only 30 million people in Australia and we could fit easily double that, so we should be having more kids. The problem is globally, yeah, third world countries are part of the problem, but parts of Europe are massively over. Like Tokyo is the densest populated city in the world. That's not a third world country. Yeah, no, nobody wants. Well, in the Simpson desert, no. I'll live in the desert, but the desert, no. And like, but we're still not overpopulated. We could have more people in, but education drives down birth rates. Depression drives down birth rates too. And with like our kids, and I mean ours as a collective, obviously, because I don't have any, but I have a niece. I have 3 nieces, 4 nieces, 5 nieces with my niece-in-laws and a nephew, and like they're all struggling to make ends meet. Yeah, it's the reason. I mean, social media is a massive part of it. There's a huge disconnect in uh, the way people like connect, um, which is why to bring it full circle, I've like proud of the work we do in terms of the events we put on that bring people together, um, particularly the face-to-face events, because I find that they're like super important. I think I told this story last time, but for those that weren't here, I'll be super brief for those who were. I played at a show. It was Paul Hodder's last show before he sadly passed. And when I came off, a guy ran up to me, a guy I'd never met before in my life. He was a little altered, let's say, and said, "Hey, I need you to meet my wife." I'm like, "Yeah, cool, no problem. I'll meet your wife." And he brings me over to his wife, and he says, "We met at the set you played on New Year's Eve at the old East End markets. We had our first kiss, and if it wasn't for your set, we never would have met, and our kids wouldn't exist, and we wouldn't still be together today." They're the connections that matter, man. Like how many friends you have on socials, how many followers you have on Insta, like they're the face to face connections are what matter. And it doesn't need to be that full on a story. The love of you meet the love of your life, but the interactions we have in the same room are far more valuable than anything you'll ever get online, in my opinion. Far more valuable than anything you'll get from AI. Far more valuable than anything you'll get from any machine. So that is why I will continue to do these shows as long as people keep showing up. That is why I don't mind if I don't make money. I mean, I wouldn't say I mind if I mean, I do mind if I don't make money, if I lose money, sorry. But I'll continue to do them even if I'm losing money and I can afford it. Let's say, yeah. So it's yeah. I was speaking to, I forget who, somebody on the weekend was asking me. He sent me a message because apparently Google was saying that I was playing at Cosmos Club with Satiric Mass again on Saturday night, which once again AI, good work AI, because that show was in January. But he sent me a screenshot. He's like, "Are you playing at Cosmos tonight with Satiric Mass?" And I'm like, "No." But I'm going to Simply Techno. He's like, "Oh, awesome! I was looking for something to do." I said, "Yeah, man. Make sure you get down there. Here's the link for tickets. It's going to be awesome." And then we just got to talk because I've never met this guy in real life, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it'll be good to meet you." And I'm like, "Yeah, just get down there early, man. I'll definitely be there, and it'll be good to meet you too because these events are far more important than any conversation. Like we could talk hundreds of times online, and personally, I don't think it has the same positive impact that a night out together has." And this is also why I'm a super encourage people to bring their kids once they're old enough, or if it's like a Mellow Monday, bring your kids, get them into our scene if you can, because one, they're safe. I know there's a lot of people that are scared for how kids behave this at the moment. But I mean, people like my parents' generation was scared by the things we did, right? But your kids will be safe. They can have a good time. They can make some real connections, and they can do like they can be the next. They can continue our culture, right? On when we're dead and gone or too old to go out and enjoy ourselves because we're too frail or whatever it is, they can continue the plur, peace, love, unity, respect, that mentality moving forward. It's something that sex and drugs is 1600 go wild at rave party 100%. I'm not sure there was 1600 people at Inquest, but yeah, it was definitely, yeah. But if they can come to our and see how it is and how positive it is, and then they will carry that forward. We can. It's a learning moment for them. I was at Ultra World for that. I thought it was Inquest, that news article. There you go. That would explain why there was 1600 there. Yeah. And look, it's obviously not going to be for all kids. I mean, just the music is not going to be for all kids. Let's be honest. But the more we get there, the more lives we can change long term. The more positive experiences they can have, the safer they'll be. Benny, how are you, mate? Um, all that stuff's important to me. Like, like, yeah. Um, we we have a really good crew, and I'm blessed that you guys have chosen to follow me on this crazy adventure that I'm taking. They'll be very safe with you, Dennis. Don't talk shit. You're a lovely man. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm super lucky. There's like a lot of you people, like the bulk of the people in this chat, I didn't know 2 years ago. And yet we're like family or family, as Kerry likes to say. Um, yeah, like Flipper, I knew. Benny, I didn't. Dennis, I don't think I did. Kerry, I didn't. Benny, I think we knew each other back in the day. Maya I knew back in the day. Yeah, Brendan I didn't know. Chrissy I didn't know. I'm just going through the names in the chat. Yeah, so like it's not too late to start making new connections, and new connections is what's going to save us from all the misery we talked about in the middle portion of this stream, unfortunately. Yeah, so just if you guys do have questions, just start chucking them in the chat because I'm running out of shit to talk about. But yeah, I want everybody to understand that I know how lucky I am to have you guys all, and I want you guys all to know how much I appreciate you all. Yeah, it's what did I say? Sorry, I'm just the chat's coming in too fast now, and I've got to scroll up. Benny knew me from Centrals. Yep. I think the new connection repair the bro. Yeah. COVID did a lot of damage to people. I mean, I'm pretty stoic, but now that we're 5 years removed from COVID, I can see like how much it knocked even me around. But I see I'm going to use the term more sensitive friends, and I want everybody to understand. I don't mean that as a criticism whatsoever. People are just different, and there's nothing wrong with being sensitive. We opened this fucking live stream up with me and Brendan talking about how much easier it is to cry now that we're a bit older, right? So, but I see the damage it did to the more sensitive members of the crew. Yeah, so we're still healing from that, and we're in this 24-hour news cycle where we're just fucking bombarded with bad news all the time. The one piece of advice I could give to all of you is just turn the news off for a period of time. It's not doing you any favors, right? Unless you need it for your job, just turn it off. Like yeah, yeah, Chrissy. Centrals was a hub. Centrals was amazing. That was like the '90s was such a magical time, man. With like, yeah, there you go. The government predicts a 7 to 10 year effect on the population from COVID. But yeah, like, yeah, and like people die. Like, man, I still get teary when I think about Paul Hodder because I fucking love that man, and he was taken way too soon. And like I'm literally got tears in my eyes right now just talking about him. He was such an inspiration, and such a pioneer for our scene. Like it just like yeah, it sucked. I fucking bawled at his funeral like a child. I bawled at his funeral, and like that should be a wake up call that we we only have a limited amount of time together, and we should maximize it as much as we possibly can. Obviously, things come up every now and then. You can't be at all the shows. I don't expect anyone to be. And quite often there's shows that I would go to that I don't because I'm tired, or my wife needs me, or I've got something on the next day, or whatever. And sometimes you got to prioritize, right? Like if I've got a jiu-jitsu grading on a Sunday, I'm not going out on a Saturday night, right? So there's things that you will prioritize over and above, but that's like jiu-jitsu is social anyway. So yeah, so we have limited time, and all of us in this chat pretty we talk. Yeah. I'll take that from you, Dennis, because you will go out till 6 a.m. and then do a fucking 30K run the following day. So I will. You're probably the only person I'll accept that from. Yeah. So, just look after each other. Look after yourself. Yeah. Know that you're loved. Know that you're important. I know that sometimes it can be perceived that that the people who work at these events can be kind of on a pedestal. We are not. We are human beings, just like you guys. Um, I'll finish up actually with a story from Mellow Monday. So we're talking about a week ago today, and there was a girl there. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to out anybody, and she's not in the chat. So, but I've met her I think twice before, but never had a conversation with her. And she wasn't at Underground Sessions 5, and she really wanted to be, and she got a friend of hers to take a photo of Leighton and I together so that she could have a photo of us together because we're her favorite DJs. And then I saw her at Mellow Monday, and I came over and we had like probably a 15-minute chat. And at the end of that chat, she's like, "Man, you're like really normal." Like, what does that mean? And like, she goes, I just had you up on this pedestal as like this fucking superstar, and you're just like a regular dude. And I'm a totally just a regular dude, man. Like, I am not a superstar. I am not a rock star. I am not a celebrity by any stretch of the imagination. I am, I think anyway, I think I'm very down to earth. I think I'm no better than anybody that comes to one of my shows. I just happen to provide the music for a short period of time during that event. And like, so if you are in this chat on this stream, or you watch it back on YouTube, and you ever, and I think I'm probably speaking for all the other DJs as well. If you ever want to come up and have a chat with us, like as long as we're not mixing, like that's not the time. But apart from that, and like I can honestly say, I can probably count on one hand the amount of DJs that I've met. I'm talking big fucking name DJs. Like I can probably count on one hand the amount that were standoffish. We're all just regular people. Like we're just um, we're just there to have a good time, exactly the same as you. We're just lucky enough that we get to be on stage for an hour or so, and we get to play the music that we want for that period of time. But it's like that plur thing that I mentioned earlier, the peace, love, unity, and respect, that extends from, I was going to say from the DJ down, but it's from the crowd up, right? It's where we're all there for the same reason. Yeah, like, yeah. So I've met Jeff Mills. I've never met Richie. Just going off Ben's, I've met Jeff Mills, lovely man. I've met probably at one point at least the biggest DJ in techno globally. Lovely. And when I met him, it was like late 90s, the height of his fame. Lovely man. I've met Carl Cox a number of times, biggest DJ in the world for 40 years. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human being. I met Thomas Schumacher, CJ Bolland earlier this year. Both amazingly cool people. Like most people are going to be like that. And if you do happen to come across one that's not, a couple of things. Maybe they are a cockhead, but maybe they're just super tired, particularly if they're an international and they've been traveling. You got to remember these guys that they travel the world. It sounds like a fucking cool job, right? But most of the time particularly when they're our age, their wives and kids are all back wherever they live. They don't get to see their families. They're living out of a fucking suitcase out of hotel rooms. Like, yeah. And a lot of these guys are semi-introverted. Like Carl's obviously not, but Jeff definitely is. He's super introverted. He's still lovely, but like you're going to have to prompt a conversation, right? And it's not because he's a cockhead. It's just he's not wired like that. But yeah. Sorry, Carl Cox, MBE. Is it OBE? I think he just got. I think did he already have an MBE? Yeah, Cam's super introverted, but he's also lovely. right? I've never had a bad interaction with Cam. Joey's super introverted. He can be a little odd, but the interactions I had with him were great. Yeah, like like just if you want to chat to someone, just go chat to him. Yeah, it's like we're just regular people. Like, and this is what I also wanted to say: if you do have a bad interaction with somebody, give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're just having a bad day. If you have a second bad interaction with them, maybe they are a bit of a dickhead. That doesn't mean that you just go, all DJs are dickheads. It's exactly the same with punters. I've had bad interactions with punters. It doesn't mean that I think all punters are dickheads. Like, yeah, Force Smash Smash, Michael Wells, beautiful man. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful human being. Yeah, DJ Edge, awesome dude. Um, yeah, like, yeah, they're definitely like, there's so many DJs in the world now. Some are going to be cockheads, right? Like, there's no way it can't be. But I would suggest that the majority of them aren't. And like, yeah. And like I said, if you do come across one that you have a bad interaction with, give them the benefit of the doubt the first time. If you have a bad one the second time, maybe they're a dickhead. And yeah, some punters are also dickheads. Yeah. Um, not at not at Dance for Heretics shows though. Yeah, cool. All right, guys, that's nearly 2 hours, so I think I've kept you enough. Um, thanks for your time. Baldy, I'd never found Baldy to be introverted, Benny. But then maybe because we played basketball together for years, and so maybe because I knew him before he was doing Vast and all that sort of stuff, so maybe that's why. Um, but yeah, but still, once again, if you found him to be introverted, maybe he was. I'm definitely not minimizing your experience with him. Um, but yeah, once again, maybe he was introverted, but still a fucking legend. Um, yeah, just lovely man. Yeah, so have fun, stay safe. As I said, if you want to come to the invite only event, my phone has been going off this whole time, so we've sold a few more tickets. I'll give you an update right now. Well, I'm assuming we sold tickets. Maybe we sold something else. There are 38 tickets left for NFL 1. So if you do want to come, send me a DM via Facebook or Instagram, any of the business pages or my personal page if we're friends on Facebook. And I will flick you the invite. And hope to see you all on the 27th. If not, the free Christmas in July show on the 25th of July at Cosmos. And if not, then I hope you will be in Melbourne to see me play there when that happens in September. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful night. And stay safe, be good to each other, be good to yourself. Adios, muchachos, indeed, my